To pray, there's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Okay, it should be quiet now. Anyway, guys, sorry for the lack of uploading for the last couple days, or the late uploads, I should say. I'm not sure why the fuck it gets so loud in my house right now, but hopefully it gets solved soon. Now, let us begin. Whenever we last left off, Midoriya has just been kidnapped, and is trying to at least figure this out. As he would wake up, he has his arms tied over his head in chains, along with him trying to move. His legs also restrained, weighed down by cinder blocks. Now, he does actually inspect this a bit more and try and at least pull himself upwards, finding that he's been locked in place. So, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. As a woman would walk into the room and just say that he must be the masked vigilante. Quite a surprise to run into you in public. Then again, that is why you do wear the mask, isn't it? So people don't recognize you? I'm guessing that girl got a lucky shot in. I was at least able to see it. You fight pretty well, but, sadly, not even you can stop quirks. Isn't that right? Midoriya is thinking. The woman, she doesn't know my quirk. Or, well, she thinks I at least have one, right? Perfect, I can use that. Her just saying that she's done a bit of research and found out who he is. Looking through your phone and looking through some of your contacts. Your mom, your teachers, everything. In fact, one of my little friends has even pieced you back together. You're the little brat who was fighting some very dangerous guys a couple months ago. To last year. Now, as she would just walk forwards, putting her hand on Midoriya's throat, saying that she is at least happy that he took down her enemies. They're going to try and do a stealthy option and kill them all. Then again, the way I had things planned out, they would have butchered each other. And just finding you in public today was a cherry on top of it all. That means I can at least make some money back from you. So, I'm going to do you a bit of a favor, since you did me a couple. I am going to break you. And then, after that happens, you are going to be sold off to the highest bidder. They won't have fun torturing you. They'll find it really boring and they'll just kill you on the spot. So, I can at least spare you that. Then again, I can't say that being against them would be any better. As she would just, begin to use her own quirk. Midoriya kinda confused. Whenever he does feel something in his throat, and the will begins to change around him. Him throwing his legs upwards and smashing the cinder blocks directly into his lady. Along with the fact that things have gone quiet. Midoriya being able to swing his body upwards and break the cinder blocks in two as they go flying in front of him, hitting the floor and smashing more. Him being able to swing his body weight upwards as he begins to try and at least pull on the chains. Beginning to actually climb upwards a bit and get to the rooftop. Being able to try and yank this piece out of the roof. Finally being able to do so. As soon as he yanks it outwards, he'll go falling onto the ground, smashing down as he does get back up. Beginning by actually starting to swing the chain. Multiple people beginning to surround him, telling him that it's best to just give up. This situation, he's not coming out of alive. And even if he does, well, he's just gonna end up dead. Midoriya just swings this around and try to defend himself, being able to smack into and beat on quite a lot of these people, as he would run over to the chick and restrain her, tying her up in these things, and at least getting the key out of her pocket, uncuffing himself before locking her and her goons together, running out of the building. As soon as he does get outside, he would be a bit surprised whenever he does see something streak across the sky. And it comes down to him, Izuku Midoriya of Sector 2814. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. Midoriya a bit shocked, reaching his hand outwards for the ring. Before he does grab onto it, he closes his hand, feeling nothing there. Moving forward surprised as the ring is still floating there, repeating what it has just said. Midoriya trying to grab onto it more and more and more, before the ring would just say error, user not found, user not deemed worthy. And the ring would just fly off into the distance. Midoriya is shocked and confused, dropping to his knees and getting angry, smashing his hands onto the ground as he would wake up from his hallucination. The woman a bit surprised, asking him exactly how long did that last. How much time felt like it passed for you? Because you were only away for about 30 seconds. Anyways, ready for round two? Her just doing this to Midoriya over and over and over again. Him living out multiple different versions of the same experience. Sometimes someone barges in and interrupts it, while others, it just plays out like the first one, over and over and over again. This happening to Midoriya for about a week. Him beginning to get annoyed and feel angry, before the woman does her little final test. The big one, before she's going to send him to the buyer. Her grabbing onto his throat and basically just shoving her hand into his face, coercing him with this, well, quirk. This quirk allows you to see the person's deepest desires and what they wish for more than anything. You can give that to them. You can also take it away, since the effects of this quirk do not last very long. She nicknames it Touch of Heaven. But in reality, it's more like an endless hell. No. With that being said, she would have coerced him full of his power, giving him about 2,000 milligrams of it. Midoriya reliving his experience, like the first time. However, this time would be a bit different. He actually touches the ring and makes physical contact with it. He changes into the outfit of the Lantern Corps and begins to fly around, actually helping people, before the ring begins to malfunction, flying him upwards into space and getting off of his finger. Now, Midoriya, he would go tumbling back down to the planet, a bit confused and shocked as he tries to throw his hands out for the ring, trying to at least call it back, repeating the oath over and over and over again, trying to at least pull himself towards it, the gravity of Earth pulling him back in, as his skin begins to spark with fire and burn away itself, him smashing into the planet below, and at least surviving it. As he does try moving it up, he can't do so, finding that his entire body is broken beyond repair, as very few people stand in front of him. Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart, along with Batman and Superman, tell him that he is unworthy of wielding the ring. The other Lantern Corps, they also would never take you. Now, Midoriya, back in the real world, after being silent for about 2 to 3 minutes, will just begin to tear up and begin to cry. The woman just watching this, and at least smirking a bit, as she's succeeded in her mission. She has broken Midoriya mentally, and they would load him up into a truck, still heavily restrained. As the auction would be going on tonight. Whenever they do arrive, they would see a lot of the lower level villains, along with just some random goons, who want to get a shot in at this vigilante. Sadly though, the doorman, he's got a pretty good quirk. So if you want to get past him, you'll have to deal with Clayface. Then again, that guy is pretty creepy to deal with. Now, Clayface, he is still looking for a solution to his little problem. He wants to get rid of his, well, abilities. So he's been at least trying to do a little less of the dirty work himself. Now, along with that, the auction would start. Many people taking a bid, as they see the vigilante restrained. Each arm basically connected and tied to a post, while his legs are also heavily restrained too, along with the rope around his neck and the collar surrounding it. As something would happen, all of a sudden the lights would cut, and there would be a loud sound. The loud sound basically being overtaken by what comes next. The room being filled with smoke and bullets beginning to fly everywhere, as they would just begin to fill and echo throughout the entire place. The woman who took Midoriya would just run off, and at least hop in the van and try and drive off. While that's happening, Midoriya would just look up. His vision's still hazy from this experience, along with the fact that he hasn't eaten in a couple days, nor had any water. In fact, he's actually beginning to get a lot weaker, as he would finally see the person in there. He can clearly tell by the way he's moving that it's Mr. Johnson, or Mr. Jensen, I don't remember what I named the man. And it's very weird to see him here, especially because he's using firearms, as a blade would just be chucked towards Midoriya's direction. Him just trying to at least move away, or at least bend his arm. As soon as he does bend it, well, the blade would hit its target, being able to smash into the metal post that's containing Midoriya, and free his left arm. Midoriya kind of confused, grabbing the katana as he tries to pull it out. As soon as he does so, he'd have to swing it forwards, slashing into the chest of a man. Although the cut wasn't very deep, it did at least surprise Midoriya, since the man did go falling backwards. Him forcing the katana into the thing on his right arm, and at least trying to cut away at it. He does cut open his arm in the process, but he's not really picky right now. As soon as he does get his arms free, he begins to tear away and at least rip off this collar thing. As after that does happen, the man would just walk up, asking Midoriya if he is okay. Him just saying that he is fine. But what are you looking up to see the man? He thought this was Mr. Jensen. Isn't it? That voice is familiar. Seeing one single person standing there. The famous assassin, Deathstroke. Now, that would have shocked Midoriya, as he would have walked over and just blasted the restraints at his legs, and get the boy on his feet, both of them limping out of the place, or at least carrying Midoriya. Now, Midoriya would have gotten home, along with basically being found in his bed overnight, after spending a bit of time on his wounds and getting healed, along with getting some goddamn food. Now, Mr. Jensen would just be going over exactly what happened with Midoriya, asking him about it, as he would just go on saying that he'll be fine. He's just not too sure what to do. As his vision is restored again, clearly that thing is still in his mind, as he does at least run off and head to the rooftop, looking up at the stars and trying to think. One thing actually happening. He begins to get surrounded, green light beginning to surround him, him falling backwards and seeing multiple Green Lantern rings. Shocked and confused, getting angry before he does just swat away at them, telling them to leave him alone, as they begin to pronounce the Green Lantern Oath. Midoriya just being annoyed, swatting them away. One of the rings leaving, more of them beginning to disperse over time, as Midoriya would have just fallen backwards onto the ground. And take a deep breath. These hallucinations are beginning to get very, very annoying. I don't understand it. Why are they still here? Him just looking down at his hand and seeing a ring, before just bringing his hand up and trying to use it. The ring slowly just disappearing, before he just gets angry when he says throw his hands down into the dirt, while the gravel, punching away at it over and over and over again until his knuckles are bloody. And he would just be coated in shame, feeling like he's failed, feeling like he is useless, just like everyone says he is. He got caught off guard and captured, all because of the fact that he doesn't have a quirk, and he just wants to do better. As let us cut you out in space. Umbrax has been released from the source wall, and he is scouring for a planet to find, as he does feel Midoriya's shame. Very potent, very, very, very balled up, as he actually does at least set his sights on this young boy. The young boy wants to become a Green Lantern. That's interesting. He believes himself already worthy. Too bad. His willpower would be useful. Then again, so would his suffering. Umbrax at least thinking, this is the most potent person he's ever met in the entire universe. So he wants to see exactly how far he himself can push Midoriya. If he can make Infortune into his weapon, he can rule the universe and shape it to his own desire. His core was taken down and forced back into the source wall. So, let us see exactly how far the boy's breaking point really is. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. And for those of you confused at what I meant by his core was destroyed, I'm basically going to make Midoriya the only Ultraviolet Lantern. Since he would have, well, I want to say in the recent comics, I believe, they took down the core. Since there's not really a lot of information, aside from what I found. And it's been around for 2 years. So anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed.